So did you get negative feedback from a customer and you want to figure out how to get that negative feedback removed? Well, eBay's changed their policy, so stay tuned to find out what you have to do to get that negative feedback removed and what it takes to have it automatically removed without even a phone call into eBay. Well, I'm going to explain to you the new eBay policy, and I'm going to tell you what happened to me that made me understand the policy. Hey, this is just a shout out to the Commonwealth Picker. I just want to appreciate him for pointing out eBay's new feedback removal policy. I had a previous seller experience with eBay a couple months ago, and I wasn't sure if I was crazy or not. Everything that I've been hearing on YouTube from all the resellers was if I was a top-rated seller and I offered free returns, if a customer posted negative feedback about their experience, that it would be automatically removed. So this is what happened to me. I got a negative feedback from a buyer who never reached out to me to tell me that they had a problem. Now, shame on me for never reaching back out to that buyer. I did not. I just kind of ate the negative feedback, even though I had heard everybody on YouTube talking about this, get your negative feedbacks removed. But I never took the time to call eBay and to tell them what had happened. I guess I just figured, what's one negative feedback? I get the second negative feedback, and now I'm just like, okay, well, this has got to stop. So I call up eBay and I said, hey, eBay, I said, this customer's unhappy. They gave me negative feedback. They never even reached out to me. They didn't communicate to me. Hey, how is this so? They said, well, it's based on their experience as a customer. And I said, well, I don't understand. I'm watching YouTube and all over YouTube. So I said, hey, not to throw any of these YouTubers under the bus, but I said, look, hey, they're all telling me I should have this removed. What do I need to do to get this removed? And they were like, well, look at, reach out to them, get them to return the item. I go, what do you mean? Well, you got to get them to do a return. You got to get them to do a return. So once they do a return, you can choose to refund them at that moment before they ship it back and before I have to pay for a shipping label, because if it's broken, I don't want it back. Or you can have it returned to you and then refund it then, and then eBay automatically removes it because you're a top-rated seller and you chose to do the 30-day free return. Believe he said you don't need to be a top-rated seller. You have to meet or be above standard for eBay, and you have to opt into that free 30-day return. They told me to reach out to this customer and ask them to open a return. So that's what I did. I contacted the customer and I said, hey, I've read all my feedback and I see that you are completely unsatisfied with your item, and I want to make a correction on that. So if you just open a return, I will issue you a full refund on the item. Opened a return, I issued a full refund on the item, and within days that second negative feedback fell off. It's not even on there for me to show you. Well, I got a third customer recently, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, this item doesn't work. And the item was, let me show you what the item was. So it was this Champion juicer. I got it at a yard sale for 20 bucks, 125, 50 for shipping. They were in $175. So I was like, well, did you put the attachments on to the juicer? Because it won't work unless you do that. And I'm going to shoot you up those messages and what this buyer said to me and how I responded to them. So the buyer comes back and the buyer says, I want to return this item. Well, I said, well, you are more than welcome to open a return. And as soon as I get this item back, I will issue you a full refund. You don't have to pay for the shipping label to return it, and I'll refund your shipping. So they were like, I'll return the item. I can't seem to make them understand that they need to put the attachments on. Of course, I didn't ship them with the attachments on. They were packed separately. The next thing I know, I'm looking at my feedback, and my feedback went down to 99.5%. And I'm like, man, what the heck? Go on there. And this guy said, he didn't really say anything bad. He just said he was returning the item and it was negative feedback. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The item ended up coming back. He didn't do a very good job in repacking it. He had never unpacked any of the attachments. They were still in the original bubble wrap. He didn't even make sure that the item was secure, but luckily the item still worked. Nothing was broken. So I go and I'm like, okay, fine. I want to do this right. I want to do this by the book. So I called eBay because I was a little miffed, really, honestly. Do I have to issue him a refund on the shipping? The original shipping? I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like he did a very good job returning it to me. I get it. It wasn't broken. So I called up eBay. They said yes. I said, yes, you have to issue him a full refund, including the shipping. And I'm like, okay. I said, so if I do this negative feedback is going to go away. And he said, yes, we batch it all together. And sometimes it can take up to a week, but that negative feedback will just fall off. We're trying to have it to where we don't have so many resellers calling us about this negative feedback. And so they're trying to come up with a way to make it more automated. What they're saying, I think, is fair. Get the item back, refund the customer, give them a good customer experience. The negative feedback falls off, looks better for eBay, looks better for me, and I'm okay with it. I'm just gonna relist the item. It worked. I'm creating this video because I was actually watching Commonwealth Picker, and he was just talking about this, how he had been out of town and he missed a message. He shipped something that the lady wanted to cancel. Called eBay expecting them to take off the negative feedback, and eBay said, hey, that's a customer's experience. The customer gets to say that. However, if you want that negative feedback off, get them to open a return and issue them a full refund. That negative feedback will fall off. If all my stuff was being returned, eBay would kick me off the platform anyway. So it's a small percentage of my items that are being returned. I really love selling on the platform. To be perfectly honest, I think they need to get rid of it. I think it's a ridiculous system. It's old, it's antiquated. eBay, get rid of it. There's too many ways that you monitor us that you're gonna kick off the bad resellers anyway. So what are you thinking? So hopefully today's video will give you a little bit better insight as to eBay's negative feedback removal policy. Again, it's almost the end of May. I've gotten 3 negative feedbacks. Of those 3, I've gotten 2 removed. After I got done talking to the rep, I issued this gentleman a full refund. I did a snippet right away of it because I wanted you guys to see what he said, but I went back later today and that negative is already gone. So it didn't have to batch like the concierge, the rep said. That's all I have for today. And sorry I went on a tangent, and hopefully this all makes sense. I really appreciate your comments and anything that you have to say to me, good, bad, or indifferent. And please subscribe to my channel. Hope you all have a groovy day, and we'll talk to you next time.